This show is brought to you by PPR Capital Management. Did you know there's a way to invest passively in real estate and get monthly income without dealing with tenants, maintenance, or property management? If you're an accredited or high net worth investor, you can earn cash flow without the headaches by investing in a private equity real estate fund. PPR Capital Management. With nearly $1 billion in assets under management, PPR has provided investors with steady, truly passive monthly income since 2007 without ever missing a payment. To learn more, check out pprcapitalmanagement.com/birds today. That's pprcapitalmgmt.com/birds.
Welcome back to Between the Vines. We are in Chaddsford today at Chaddsford Winery.
Yeah.
We're celebrating a win.
Big win.
Big dub. And, well, it was a big win because every win's a big win in the NFL, right?
Absolutely.
So what are we cheersing to?
Well, we had a lot going on. You know, it was Dougie Fresh coming back, Big Balls Dub.
Yeah.
First game back. You know, well, not his first game back. It's his second game back. You know, coming back to Philly. But him coming back. And then I think that when you go back and you look at Saquon's performance, you know, the offensive line continuing to dominate. And then let's see, what else did we have here? And then you got Isaiah Rodgers.
First start.
His first start.
Yeah.
You know, her start, man, with the Eagles. So, you know, a lot of cheers to.
Cheers to all that.
Yeah.
Cheers to all that.
Cheers.
All right, so I started off here with a Presage epilogue. Epilogue, which I believe is an unoaked Chardonnay.
Okay.
Right? Did they say oaked or unoaked?
I think they said unoaked. How does it taste?
Does it taste
naked?
It tastes naked.
Okay.
It does. It tastes like there's a lack of wood.
Okay.
In this Chardonnay.
Yeah.
What are you drinking over there, Trey?
What I have here is sparkling rosé. So when I first came in, I'm just like, hey, you know, surprise me with something. So this is what they hit me with, this, which is a sparkling rosé. As you can see the bubbles in there.
Right there.
You know what I'm saying?
CF Dub.
Which is extremely tasty rosé, especially when it's a nice warm day out like today. We have a nice fall warm up. You know, this is awesome.
Yeah. So Chaddsford Winery is under new ownership recently. The owners of White Horse Winery over in New Jersey ended up purchasing it and getting the show on the road.
Yeah. And Brock is the owner out there at White Horse Winery.
Brock and Brock Jr.
Brock and Brock Jr. I know them well. You know, I used to go out and hang out a lot at White Horse Winery.
Yeah. So is that in
it's in New Jersey. You know, you can cross a different township and end up somewhere different, but I think it's definitely in New Jersey. I used to hang out there a lot. Well, our studio would do paint classes out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tuesdays with Trey. How did it go this week?
Well, you know, with the elections and all. Oh yeah, and that's another thing with that we needed to talk.
Oh, we should have cheers.
Yeah, you know what? It's worth another one. You know what I'm saying? The election is finally over.
No more propaganda, no more commercials.
No more commercials, no more propaganda, no more just twittering, text messaging.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
My phone was blowing up, which it usually doesn't.
Yeah.
I got a pretty quiet phone, but I'm looking forward to returning silence.
Back to normal. It's over with. Yes. You know, I'm cheers.
All right. So they got some flights out here that we're going to be drinking along the course of the show. But let's get down to it, dude. So we played the Jags. Dougie came into town, and it was another slow start. We got a couple first downs, but then we were forced to punt. But, you know, we always talk about it's hard to start on offense and just get that energy rolling. A couple first downs, you would think the momentum would be going and stuff like that. But, dude, the special teams came through, right? And nothing can turn the tide of a game like a special teams turnover, right?
Yeah.
Because the offense goes from feeling like, dang it, we did it again, to new life, back out there.
I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Oh, another thing that we could toast to, man, and I forgot.
We got more wine to drink.
Yeah. Shady.
Oh,
Shady Day. You know, yeah, man, Shady getting inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame.
so this is yeah. All right, so sidestep from the game here.
Yeah,
Right?
we got to go back.
We gotta
Yeah,
talk back to Shady.
yeah. Shady's induction into the Eagles Hall of Fame. Man, cheers to you, my brother, on an awesome career and just being able to come back and be recognized for your body of work.
Yeah, it really is truly something special. He's what the Eagles' all-time leading rusher. Rightfully so. He is in the history books with my man Trey Thomas here, right? Yeah. Glorified forever.
Yeah. It was really good to be able to to see all the guys and then to just be there for Shady and watch him get inducted. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was like Shady weekend. There was a couple of events this weekend. I had the chance to go and like see him at a couple of them. It was just good to see him back in town. You know, see he's doing so well after football and stuff. Man, he's really found a perfect place in TV where he can be himself and talk trash and act like he knows exactly what he's talking about, like he always did in the locker room. Right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I like that for him, but he and Acho doing their thing, man, and it's good. And then it was good to see D-Jack as well.
Yeah.
You know,
all the guys that came back, dude. So I saw Sante.
Yeah.
I saw Eldred Buckley.
Okay.
I saw a bunch of the guys, dude. It was awesome.
That's awesome, man. It was good.
It's always good to get with the guys. You feel like you didn't even miss a beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're back in the locker room clowning each other.
You fall right back in, and those are relationships that you are just they're always going to be the same. You know, like guys, you just fall right back into place, and it's just like you're back in the locker room again, and everybody's just hanging out and having a good time. We're just getting a little older now.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because the guys were like, "Oh, so you see anybody anymore?" I'm like, "Dude, I see Trey every week." You know, so that's a cool thing. We get to see each other every week. It's not like that with everybody else. We're from all around the country. So something like that Shady had, it's really cool to be able to see all the guys come back and participate in it. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Shady, cheers
to you, my brother.
Well deserved.
All right.
Trey.
Yes.
While we're on the Hall of Fame thing, what's it like? What's it like being inducted into Eagles lore for ages and ages to come?
It's awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're being recognized by your body of work. And to me, that's the most important thing for me. You know, that the organization felt that my performance here, my time here was good enough to be recognized. And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's taken lightly. You know, I put a lot of work into it, sacrificed a lot, and I'm glad that I was recognized for what I did. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
So when I look at your resume, it was a no-brainer when they announced that you were going to be in the Hall of Fame, you know? And like, but was it a surprise to you? Was that something that you were expecting? Like, because as an offensive lineman, it's hard to measure. You're not like the team's leading rusher or all-time sack leader or anything like that, you know? Like Trent, when he got inducted, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, Trent put numbers up and stuff. So like, as an offensive lineman, like yourself, I mean, you were all pro, you're a pro bowler. You know, you were here for 10 years, a decade?
Yeah, 11 years.
11 years here in the franchise. So like, was that something that you kind of expected? It was just a matter of time, or was it kind of a surprise to you because we don't have those metrics to go by?
Yeah, I think, you know, of course you're always like, all right, man, I know you gotta get me in there. You know what I'm saying? You know, because like you said, we don't have those metrics. They're not counting pancakes. You know what I'm saying? No one's counting the game that you don't give up any sacks, you know, but I just felt like because of my body work, especially with Runyon, you know what I'm saying? The years that we played together. And because I think Runyon and I played together, 9 years? You know what I'm saying? So that was, you know, I knew that time was going to come just based off of my body of work. You know, I wasn't always the splash guy, the big name guy, as far as the name, as far as making all the Pro Bowls, just because I was in there with, I think, you know, when you got Orlando Pace and Walter Jones, they go in every year. So 3 of us were battling it out for that third spot with the Pro Bowl. So it was always Chris Samuels, myself, and Flozo Adams down there in Dallas. So we all kind of battled it out for that third spot. So, but you know, I enjoy my time here, and it's good to be recognized for it.
Yeah. Well, dude, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers to you, Trey.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now I only pull my jacket out once a year.
Hey, that's all you need.
That's
all you need. Right? It's an honor being able to see the guys I play with like reach these status levels. You know what I mean? Because personally, I was never like a Pro Bowler or anything like that. So like your guys' accomplishments, I feel like are mine.
Absolutely. So and that's why I'm like, look, man, I would never be where I got without my guards. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys made my game way easier because I knew that if that guy tried to bull rush me, you were coming to take his head off. We had, you know what I'm saying? A tackle is only as good as his guard. And that's why I always said, like, when I got out there, I'm like, look, man, this is all the guys that I played with that helped me get here because I couldn't get here alone. Absolutely. So cheers to you.
Oh, hey, thank you. Yeah. I'm fishing for that one.
Cheers to you.
Came out nicely. Look at this big fish I caught. All right, so this is the first wine in our flight. This is a 2022 sparkling white.
Yeah, I like that. And it's good.
It is bright, full of bliss. It is not too sweet, but there's just a nice little hint there to make it pleasant. Right?
Yeah. And it's not too sweet, like you said. And it's like, you know what? I do enjoy carbonated, wines, sparkling wines.
Well, you don't drink it so fast.
Yeah, also, it makes you calm down a little bit. But I do enjoy a good sparkling wine, especially during this time of year, man. You know what I'm saying? It's festive.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? This is balanced very nicely because sometimes when it comes to like champagne and not rosés that are sparkling, but like the white sparkling, sometimes if it's dry, I can only have like a glass of it. Yeah, it's too dry. Yeah, where it kind of like leaves it. This is, I feel like I could have a couple of these.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nice, and it's not super sweet. It's
just a nice little kiss of sweetness to it. Back to the game.
Yeah, back to the game. Now, here we go.
Anyway, all right. So, where were we when we were talking about the game?
Well, we were just talking about the game and just how it started off. Special teams kicked in, bailed us out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing turns the tide of a game like special teams turnover, dude. So the offense was just kind of on the sidelines, like, we can't ever get it going to start the game off. Well, we're back on the field. Let's go score. Yeah. The defense is like, all right, get out there and score. And they did. Short field. We were able to get out there. What was the first touchdown? We threw the to Saquon.
Right? Yeah, I think that's Saquon to the right. Big pass. I think that Saquon is just such a
dynamic player.
A dynamic player for this team. And we've had some really good backs along the way. I mean, even being out there with Westbrook, just knowing what Westbrook brought to this team.
We went from Westbrook to Shady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was saying this. I spoke at one of Shady's events this thing, and I was like, I felt like I went from a supporting player for Westbrook, this awesome back, that is a do it everything type thing, to like, okay, now we got this kid from Pittsburgh in, and we got to take care of him. He's our supporting player. Yeah, like, dude, a game went by or a couple practices went by, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, we're in the supporting role again here. This dude is nice.
Dude, man, because you look at Westbrook, and Westbrook was he'll give you a little something, but he's gonna get upfield and get on out of there. But as a shifty back, man, Shady hands down, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go back and I think about my favorite Shady run, it was when we were backed up against San Diego, dude. I was on the coaching staff with Chip. We were backed up against San Diego, and it was only 3 yards, dog. It was only a 3-yard run. But I mean, what he did, I'm gonna have to pull out this clip. I'm gonna go back, look it up, and make sure I tag this clip and post it for y'all. But man, Shady, I guess Evan Mathis got a little dice with Evan Mathis, where the guy kind of got some penetration, and he in the end zone. Yeah. Shady put his foot down, boom, and then spent off the other guy. And I mean, dude, like his vision and his agility, I was like, that right there was, when I think about Shady's run, That's my favorite run.
The craziest part about it is when I was playing with him, I didn't have any like thoughts about like how great he was. And then you would hear like people say about like comparisons to Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Like, bro, when I was growing up, I was from Michigan. Like Barry Sanders was like elite. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't have anything else but Barry Sanders. You know what I mean? So like when people were saying that, I was like, come on, dude. Like I can't be playing with that type of greatness. Like that's just something you don't see. But like after watching all these highlights and stuff, like after the fact, I'm just like, holy shit, dude. This dude was unreal.
Just imagine,
unreal.
Just imagine if you would have been able to keep he and Deshaun together.
I know. It's one of the greatest travesties.
Oh my gosh, if you would have been able to keep he and Deshaun together, dude, like, man, come on, man.
Well, you know, I really think that season they let him and Deshaun go.
Yeah.
But the wheels really came off the bus when they let me go.
Yeah. Everything just, it just fell apart then. You know what I'm saying? It just, you know what I'm saying? Apart.
But back to amazing run.
Yes, back to amazing run. Dude, catches, you know.
Saquon has been as advertised and everything that I thought he would be if you give him a consistently decent O-line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's been on the verge of like greatness and like while he's in New York with just like a Swiss cheese O-line. Nothing against them, but they can't stay healthy. They don't have a lot of continuity, anything going on up there. You know what I mean? But now he's here with like tradition of like great offensive line. He's behind Stout and his crew, right?
Yeah.
And he just gets to see what it's actually like to like get to the second level without having to worry about it. You know? And it's just so good to see because usually we're let down in these scenarios, you know, where it's not as advertised.
It's not as advertised.
Or
not as
not
good.
Living up to the expectations.
Yeah. Or the pressure of making a play is eating at him or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No, dude, he's performing. Give him the ball. And we've been saying it from the first game. Give him the ball. Give him the ball.
Absolutely. And then, you know, man, just the way he's running the ball, getting between the tackles, and then he'll break a big run. And then now one of the things, man, that you look at and what Coach Stoutland has done with this offensive line, when you're standing out there on the field, I'm like, man, these cats are massive.
Oh, they're so big.
Like, you know, I'm a big dude, and I feel like I'm a big dude. But, man, standing out there with Lane, and then you got Big Micah out there, like, as a guard. Mackay as a guard, dude. Like, he's, what, about 6'7"?
Yeah.
And like he's massive.
Yeah, like I was a big guard when I played, but he is like he dwarfs me.
Like he is massive, and then you got Dickerson, and then Big Fred. Even Fred, when I stand out there with him, I'm like, man, Fred got some size to him, man.
The funny thing is like Cam looks like a small guy out there, but like when you see him in person or around anybody else, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Kelsey was.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, that offensive line is massive, and they do a good job of getting up to the second level, creating movement. Man, Fran Duffy put together a video where he was just like, all right, you know what? Forget about the runs. Just look at the movement that these guys are creating. And, you know, and I mean, and that's what I'm saying, when you start talking about combination blocks with Coach Stoutland, you know how much emphasis he puts on that. And it shows when these guys are out there just crushing guys off the ball.
But I feel like it also takes something to like click in their head, you know? And I think Stout does a good job of like showing this. Like, listen, if you can stand him up and you're 300 pounds, and then you take your 350 pounds and blow him in the hip, he's going to go flying. There's going to be a big hole that opens up. You know? Like they're doing such a good job at using the defensive lineman's body size and weight against them, where they're able to redirect their mass and just they're creating these massive lanes, and their combos are blowing people off the ball. They're creating displacement, and it's just awesome to see, dude. They're like literally eating up there.
Yeah, and I think that for you to have that run game, you have to also be able to protect. And I think that that's one of the areas that I think Coach Stoutland has gotten better at, teaching protection. You know what I'm saying? And getting these guys to play with their hands and play with extension, you know. So that's one of the things that I've seen as an improvement of the offensive line. Yeah, they're able to create those combination blocks and blow guys off the ball. But when it's 3rd and 10, they can hold themselves down, and that's what I think is important as well.
Absolutely.
Being able to protect.
I mean, how many sacks did we give up this week?
I think we gave up 3, but a couple of them were covered sacks.
Well, yeah, there was one that he was back there forever.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time in those scenarios, unless he's going to be able to throw it away.
Yeah, and then when because everybody's going to go out there and try to take A.J. Brown away. You're going to take Devontae. A.J. Brown goes down early in the game, So then now it makes it a lot easier as an offense. Well, not a lot easier, but it's a little bit more. You can deal with it a little bit more when you only have Slim you got to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the guys did a good job of stepping up, though. Losing AJ, obviously, we know what it did in the past. Huge hit to our offense. But I feel like other guys rose to the challenge out there. And, dude, what a weird game.
Yeah.
What a weird game, right? Like, we're up 22-0. We're like, dude, this is the Eagles. This is it. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. We're back. Yeah. It's just such a great display of everything. Over 500 yards of offense. Like, it was a dominating performance. And then, like, within 2 seconds, it was like 22-17 or something like that.
Yeah, we're like, oh, no.
Or 16. What a crazy change of events. I love the game of football because stuff like this can happen. But, like, man, first of all, kudos to the Eagles for being able to keep it together and not let that momentum swing completely out of their grasp.
Yeah.
Because something like that could make you spiral.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when you see it like, wait a minute now. You can easily, start to lose focus, and then boom, there you go. Next thing you're finding a way to lose the game instead of finding a way to win it. One of the things also that you got to look at too with this game is how the brotherly shove isn't as effective.
Agreed. Landon Dickerson, not Landon, Jordan Mailata is out. So
yeah, because a rugby play, dude. It's a rugby play, and it's not as effective when the rugby player is not out there. I don't mind it. I think that, hey, if they can't stop it, cool, but it's a rugby play, man. And once you get Jordan Mailata back out there, then I think that you'll start seeing a little bit more success because he has the technique down.
Well, but do you think that people are learning to stop it?
I think so. I think that everybody's kind of like, all right, you know what? I see what you guys are doing. I'm going to load everybody up. I'm going to put a bigger guy over to the right. You don't want, over on the left side for us. But you don't want...
So what is it, Trey?
Huh?
People are stopping it, or Jordan Mailata makes it work?
I think Jordan Mailata makes it work because he has the technique down of what he's doing.
Because he's a rugby player?
Yeah, because it's a rugby play. Because when he gets down, he creates the wedge. And every time you see when Jalen Hurts kind of falls over to the left, because he's the one that's like Dickerson, all he got to do is fire out because Mailata is the one that's pinning everything down and pushing it. That's why you see Jalen Hurts. When he goes over the top of the left, and that's where the penetration is coming. And Fred and them, they're trying, but that's not their thing. They don't know how to do that. But Jordan Mailata does. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a rugby play, and he makes it work.
So does he not tell the other guys how to do it?
He's been doing that for years.
Job security?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's trying to tell them, but, that's not something that you can perfect. I've been doing that for years.
I will say something.
Mm-hmm.
I think not having Kelsey is also part of it.
Okay.
How do you say it?
Yeah,
I don't think it was as successful earlier in the year before Jordan was out.
But Kelsey wasn't the one that was creating the movement there.
Yeah,
he's firing off, but again, even when Kelsey was there, Jalen Hurts drifts to the left and goes over the left edge. That's just how I see it.
Trey, what are you drinking?
I am drinking. I don't know.
This is a 2022 dry rosé. Redu. It smells really good.
Yeah, it does.
It smells like a tropical fruit kind of. Yeah. I taste like peach.
Mm-hmm.
peach stone fruit, I think is what they call it.
Okay.
It's got like a pit in it.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's go to defense before we talk about decision making. I think that.
Okay.
I thought the defense played great. I think the defense has been like showing out consistently. Vic's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Rodgers started this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anything, just built more confidence in him.
I think that you just showed that you have a really good young secondary. Cooper DeJean just keeps showing out. That young man is an awesome player out there at nickel, and he keeps showing himself to be a really good player. And then you got Q over there on the other side, who is just a shutdown corner. You know, I went into this game thinking that we were going to have at least 5 sacks, just because I thought that our secondary was going to come out there and show out, which they did.
How many do we have?
I think we finished with 2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sweat had 1. I think Sweat may have had both of them or been involved with both of them. But, you know, I thought that our secondary was really good. They played lights out to me. You know, and I think that when you go back and you look at our linebacker play, you know, Nakobe Dean has been the guy. Yeah, saved the game. Game-saving interception.
We're sitting here talking about like we beat the brakes off.
Yeah,
they almost won.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean makes that big interception. Bo is out there playing well, man.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of the, when you look at
Bomb.
You know,
bomb.
Yeah, when you go back and you say, okay, what was the change in our defense? I would say that our secondary started playing a lot more, being a lot stickier, and then our linebacker play got more aggressive.
Yeah, so like the quick, easy ones are not there anymore.
No, that dink and dunk game, that's over with. And if you mess around and you give our defensive front time, then they're going to get home. And that's what has to happen. When you go back and you look at, all right, you know what? Everybody talks about the 80-something Bears. I think it was the 85 Bears. And I think they have the highest sacks.
85 Bears.
Yeah, 85 Bears. I think there's 70-something sacks or whatever in the season. And, you know, and they like, man, they had some great rushes. I say you had a great secondary. Yeah. Because that secondary was, you know, was airtight because they gave the defensive top front time to get home. You know, but
great running backs have great offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great defensive fronts have great secondary.
Absolutely, you better have it.
There's always an unsung hero somewhere.
Yeah.
Great tackles have
great guards.
Great guards.
Yeah. Great guards have great centers.
Average to mediocre guards have great tackles. We all average each other out.
Great. It takes us all. It takes all of us.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really have a lot to talk about the defense. I'm happy with them, dude. I think that they just need to keep being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, how great of a feeling does it have to be for, like, the front office to be able to just, like, kind of focus on the front 7?
Mm-hmm.
Because the youth of the back end is, like, I mean, as long as you keep everybody happy and they're not wanting more and they want to be, like, it makes me think of, like, the Legion of Doom.
Right?
Yeah. Seattle had all those guys that wanted to play together, and they just created this dominating secondary for years.
What year is this for CJGJ?
Well, he's the elder state. He would be the elder statesman.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So he got to be about 7-8 years. I don't have him.
I think we did look this up. I think he is like in his 8th year.
Okay, so he's the older one out of the group. Because I think that with Rodgers,
if your oldest guy's in his 8th year,
yeah, that's awesome, man. You
got at least, and he's not looking to go anywhere else. He's been somewhere else and came back.
Yeah, I think
he likes it here.
Absolutely, he loves it here, man. Especially when you got a good group around you.
You think you got this young group that you can kind of like mentor and like build around you. Yeah. He could probably add years to his career.
He can give you at least 3 more years. That's 3 more years of a really good secondary. Now, Nakobe Dean is coming in doing his thing now. You know, I love because he's young.
Yeah.
You know, Jalen Carter's young. You got a really good group of guys that you can build around. Now you need to see if Jordan Davis if he's going to come on. You know, now you're going to, start bringing in some ends that can actually create pressure because now you got a defensive backfield that can really be lights out. So you got to bring in some rushers. And that's what your focus is.
Well, yeah, because you're losing. Well, You might be losing BG after this year.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? BG, the way BG is playing right now.
Has there ever been a comeback tour or a farewell tour part 2? Has there ever?
Not with the same team.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think, but I don't know, man. BG is really enjoying his time. You know, anytime you see them do any videos,
I mean, BG has always been like
oh
that.
yeah,
Since
man.
he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Every day is a gift.
Oh yeah, man. He loves every day that he's at work. He's always smiling, always laughing. He's in on all the videos and all the little stuff that they do, man. And that's as you should do, man. Enjoy your time. You know, when I go back and I look at my career, and I'm like, you know what, man? I enjoyed my time. I really enjoyed my time. I wish I would have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Maybe not been such a bully.
I wasn't a bully. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, you know, we had.
Nah, I mean, it was all fun. It was all fun. It was like, you know, you weren't a bully in like a mean aspect. You were more of like a comical bully.
Yeah, man, we had fun, man. Everybody had fun. Lots of big laughs, and just, man, you know. But I'm really enjoying what BG is doing for his farewell tour, and just having a good time and enjoying his time with his teammates, because
it's always hard to cherish the moment.
You
know what I mean, when you're in it, everybody will always tell you, "Hey, cherish the moment."
Yeah,
you know, but it looks like you actually are seeing him do it.
Yeah,
which is like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm happy for him.
And I think that was the same thing for Kelsey too. You know what I'm saying? When he got ready to go, he enjoyed his year, where he was just out there, you know, dancing with the players, with the celebrations, wearing the Batman mask. You know, he got in on it and enjoyed his time as well. You know, and I think that's one of the things that will make it good for you, because you know you'll never, once you're done, have anything like the locker room ever again.
Yeah,
you know,
never again.
That feeling will never be the same until you get around your guys again when you're older. But you know, the environment is not the same anymore, especially when you go into the business world and everything else, and you're running kids back and forth to everything. You don't have that locker room feel.
We're going to Happy Valley on the weekends.
Well,
we'll steer clear of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone, because I mean, you know, he's already apologized. You know, Kelsey apologized. You know, he met hate with hate. That's what he said.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know if he ever actually said the words "I'm sorry," but it was heartfelt.
It was heartfelt.
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking for.
You know.
Well, dude, I will touch on this.
Okay, go ahead.
I played a lot of years with Kelsey, right?
Yes.
So it's not a surprise to me to see that Kelsey has a short fuse. Mm-hmm. He's always had a short fuse. Mm-hmm. So, but one thing I do know about Jason is he knows when he messed up. And he sits there, and you'll see him in his locker after practice, after he threw his helmet at somebody or drop kicked somebody off because he blew his top or something. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting in his locker, and you're like, "What's up, dude?" And he's just kind of like, "I'm such an idiot.
Yeah,
I'm such an idiot." You know, like he always comes back to seeing like clearly, you know, which I think is, you know, a solid characteristic of his, you know, because you can fly off the handle, but you know, like deep down, genuinely good human, knows he crossed the boundary, shouldn't have, yada yada, you know. So, but yeah, it's good to see that it wasn't just practice that made him fly off the handle, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, you know, it's
Hey, speaking of poor decisions, what do you great segue. Yeah. What do you think about not kicking a field goal on 4th down to go up by 2 scores late in the game?
You know, that's when you're trying to be too slick.
Wasn't there another 4th down he went for? And
didn't get it. You know,
I mean, he said this earlier in the year. That's who I am. I'm not going to change who I am. Maybe you should change that part.
Maybe you should change. Go ahead and take the points. You know what I'm saying? Especially
I have some toxic traits that I try to change.
That I'm working on. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to better myself.
I
see it as a weakness. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be weak.
Yeah, no.
I think that you've seen it at a few points now where maybe you should rethink that.
Yeah. Go ahead and take the points sometimes, man. if the shove isn't working, especially if you don't have Joy Mile in there, man, come on, man.
Especially if it comes down to you lose the game if Nakobe Dean doesn't make this interception in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Right now,
do we
you're depending on
realize
Todd.
how much bedlam how much chaos we have avoided
Yes.
in the city of Philadelphia? If Nakobe Dean, if the receiver caught that ball instead of Nakobe Dean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was still a little bit of time on the clock because you know it was kind of crazy. That last pass, as they're walking up to the line, I think I was watching the game with Selleck. I looked over and I was like, well, there's still a lot of time on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, if they were smart, they'd run the ball.
Yeah.
They threw the ball,
Yeah.
interception.
Wow.
They're not smart.
Yeah. Doug, hey, coach is getting away, man.
But like, dude.
I mean, that had to be a great play by Nakobe Dean,
This
too.
is a completely different show.
Yeah, because you had a one-on-one in the end zone. So, I mean, it was the right throw.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that Nakobe Dean made a great play.
He made a great play.
So
then that like brings me to this thought that I had, you know, like it's hard to tell throughout a season or the course of a game whether the right calls are being made or whether players are actually like just making plays in the scenario to like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish that there was, and maybe there will be someday, some type of thing that would be able to tell you like, hey, this was a good call against this defense. The players just didn't execute, you know, or like, immediately like, oh, this was a terrible call. The players rose to the challenge and just made it happen.
And made a heck of a play. Yeah.
Like that's such a like nuanced difference that a fan and even like a former player, I don't always see. You know what I mean? It's just an interesting like perspective of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I like that. Yeah.
I just went on a little tangent.
Yeah, but it's good. I have nothing to add to it. Yeah, I think it's good by itself.
Maybe one day we'll see. So like, but because I said that, like what you said was it was the right call, it was the right read, he was the right guy. But Nakobe Dean just made a great play.
He made a great play, you know, and you know, even with the defense, I mean, nothing else was there. You know, you put. I think I don't know about Nakobe Dean's, you know, coverage skills, but you put him in a situation where he had to be there and he made a play. I mean, you know, which is good. That tells me that the coaches trust him and that he's earning their trust and he's doing what he needs to get done.
Well, the thing that kind of worries me, I guess, about, you know, the decision making and how it was a close game when I didn't feel it needed to be. I don't know, things happen, momentum shifts. Kudos to keeping the power and making plays when you need to.
Yeah.
But like, this is not going to cut it. If you get down to the playoffs, dude, like you can't have your coach getting in your way in the playoffs.
No.
Because if he's, I don't know, I just feel like if he's making these decisions to not take the points and go up by 2 scores, I don't know. That's not a good way to live, especially when you start getting against better teams. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to win playoff games. Now, granted,
Jacksonville's a bad team.
But I'm saying, like, sometimes, you make those decisions and it pays off, and it's risky, risk reward.
Yeah.
I would just like to be more, what did I say?
Strategic.
More daring and not risky.
Yeah, a little bit more conservative. Not conservative, but let's take the points.
Take the points.
Take the points. Anytime you got a chance, take the points. Unless we're in desperation mode, take the points.
Yeah, take the points unless you need a shit ton of points.
Yeah.
If you're winning and you're up by 1 score, make it 2 scores.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
Trey.
So now we got Dallas, man. So what do you
Down in Jerry's world.
Down in Jerry's world.
So first of all, this red is the 2021 Harbinger. That's their red blend.
Okay.
It's a medium-bodied blend. This is a wine cam. When I'm talking about wine, we go to this cam.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, like we said, that's a 2021 Harbinger. It's a red blend. It is that is nice. It's medium body there.
Yeah.
I'm getting some I'm getting some black fruit. Black fruit, like, okay. Trey, what would you think is a black fruit? Black grape?
Blackberry.
Blackberry?
Yeah.
Blackberry.
Yeah.
Is the first one that comes to mind?
Yeah.
Maybe a plum?
Yeah, plum.
A plum, black
Mhm.
fruit, stone fruit,
Cherries.
dark cherries.
Mm.
What other dark fruits are there? There aren't a whole lot.
Mm.
Maybe dates, raisins.
Well, raisins from grapes.
Raisins probably not a good descriptor for
Yeah, yeah, they're just sun dried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
I could. That's a solid one that I'll eat with a meal.
Mhm.
I mean, drink with a meal.
Yeah.
Talk about Texas, right?
Yeah, talk about Texas, man. You know, headed out to big Dallas. Yeah.
I feel like it's a big game, but it shouldn't be a big game.
Yeah.
You don't seem too concerned.
Nah, Dak Prescott is not playing in this game.
He's not playing.
No, he has some type of hamstring issue. It just seems like, Dallas right now as a team is in disarray.
Who's running QB?
Is it Kershaw? I'm not sure who they are. And then you got Trey Lance there, I think. I'm not sure who the backups quarterback, and then I can't look up because I don't have my phone. But anyway, but it's going to be interesting. This is one of those type games where we should go out there and just dominate. It could be a trap game though for us because anytime you don't see the starting quarterback out there, you feel like, all right, you know what, we're just going to roll over them, and then next thing you know, you find yourself in a dog fight. It'll be interesting to see if AJ Brown is going to be back this game as well.
So here's what I think about that. I think that if we had a little more veteran of a secondary going in there against a backup QB, I think I'd be concerned because they might be like, oh, okay, this is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a young, hungry secondary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like they're still trying to make their name, and I think they're going to go try to embarrass this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that would have been the trap for them, even going against Jacksonville.
Right.
Because you knew that a couple of the receivers weren't going to be there. So they could have just said, all right, you know what, we know this is going to be an easy game. Let's just lay off. But no, they came out there and they played lights out. And I think that this group, as hungry as they are and has the fire that they play with, this isn't going to be a letdown for them. And I think that that's one of the things that has to continue. Now, you know what? It'd be interesting to see if Slay comes back this game because he had a groin injury.
Well, groins are slow to heal.
Yeah.
And you can't really test it. So it's like one of those things that sometimes if you get more time, it's better.
All right. So with the way Rodgers,
I don't want him to come back. I don't necessarily want Slay to come back this game.
So with Rodgers, because you feel good about Isaiah, so do you just say, "Hey, Slay, easy," what I'm saying? Make sure that you're good, or do you just go ahead and bring when he's back? Because you can't lose your position. You can't lose your position because of injury, due to injury. So,
well, I think that they say. So, okay, that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because they say, hey, why don't you just take time? We got a big game against Washington coming up and Thursday night. It's going to be a short turnaround.
Okay.
Why don't you just aim for Washington?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
I like the way that's going.
We can get Isaiah Rodgers to
another
game under his belt down in Dallas.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So then you get to the Washington game.
Which is a quick turnaround.
You're like, well, shit.
Yeah. So do you keep?
I'd rather have Isaiah Rodgers out there because he just played well against Dallas, and this is a big game probably for the division because
Washington's pretty good.
Washington's pretty good.
Yeah.
They got a good QB.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I would say, how does it feel?
Yeah,
it's tough. It's a tough scenario.
It's a tough scenario.
It's a good situation to be in.
Because Slay's the money man, so you got it. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to play. But when he comes back, do you have him on a short leash? Where if it's not what we want it to be, if he gets beat a couple times, even though in Slay's last game, he had a solid game, But
okay, so here's the thing. I think that this is a great scenario to be in. For the team, maybe not Slay. But it's also good for Slay because he's making whatever he's making this year, right?
Yeah.
Regardless. A lot of times when you get hurt, you feel like you have to get back before you're ready to get back. So, like, all of a sudden he sees Isaiah played well last week. I know, and there's two ways to look at this. You'd be like, shit, I better get out there. That's my job, right?
Yeah.
Or you'd be like, all right,
I'm on my way out anyway.
The young boy's got it covered.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm healthy because I'm going to have to prove it to another team.
Because I'm out of here after the end of the season. Yeah. You know,
I think it's a good situation for the Eagles to be in. I don't know how they're going to handle it. I don't think that Isaiah Rodgers gets offended or anything if he's like, sat. Because Slay is obviously like the money guy.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good situation to be in.
Yeah, it's a good situation to be in. But then too, like I think that so you've had the last 3 games here now that Slay has had to come out of the game. You had a knee injury a couple games back, then you had another knee injury, and then finally you had a groin, which gave him that game and then this game as well. So, secondary is kind of like offensive line. You can't keep mixing guys in and out because that
you got to know how each other plays. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like you said, it's interesting, to see how they're going to handle this, because I think Isaiah Rodgers, I think when you look at this secondary, they're better with Isaiah Rodgers and Q out there at corner. And then with the way Cooper DeJean is playing, you got Blankenship out there that's just doing his thing. I mean, the secondary is very progressive and they're out there just playing lights out, man. And CJ, GJ doing his thing. I think that this group is better with Isaiah Rodgers out there.
I agree. So wait a minute. When you said you can't lose your job because of injury, was that just kind of like you say that, or is that
I thought that was kind of like
thing?
I think that's kind of it's not. It's a gentleman's thing.
Oh no, you sure as shit can lose your job because somebody gets hurt. Because you get hurt and somebody comes in and plays better, you never see the field again. It happens.
It does?
It happens.
When? Because usually, it's one thing if that player is out for the rest of the season. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're out for the rest of the season. But if you get hurt and then and you're the starter and you're healthy again.
Are you saying like in Mekhi Becton's situation?
Yeah. Exactly. So Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
All right. So Mekhi, he's the money man. So he gets hurt.
A big dude who's been moving people. I don't want to say that he's not. But right, yeah. Steen also playing really, really good.
Plays extremely well.
Every time he's put in there.
Every time you put him in there. And it's
probably a little more consistently than Mekhi. Maybe not as dominant at times.
Mm-hmm. But he is starter worthy.
Yeah.
But Mekhi is the money man. He's your guy. Well, I don't know if he's the money, but he's the one that you deem the starter.
I know, but that's funny because Steen was a starter.
But then Steen got hurt.
Right.
And then Mekhi came in. Nah, I don't know. I think when you bring Mekhi in from the Jets, you knew that you were going, if he could play right guard, you were going to make him a starter.
Probably so.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, it's an interesting situation for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, dude, the
more
ballers on the team, the better.
Yeah, because I mean, especially that secondary when you got Isaiah Rodgers that's out there doing this thing. Slay.
I mean, think about this. When Slay comes back, you think he's gonna feel like he can slack off at all? No.
He better be sharp. Yeah, because Slade keeps his ear to the ground.
Yeah,
he knows what everybody's saying.
Well, I mean, he doesn't even need to know that. He can see the guy behind him is playing well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like when you're in the training room, you see the guy behind you playing well. You feel better quicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel a lot better real quicker.
Feel better quicker.
Yeah. And you know that when you come back, if your game isn't on point, fan base gonna let you have it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so you better.
They're like, we can have old boy over here.
When they start chanting the other guy, Rogers. Oh yeah, you don't want to hear that.
To close out, bro, I thought that Shady had an awesome speech. It was short, sweet, on point, right?
I was crying.
Yeah,
I cried.
Yeah, he did a great job, dude.
Hey, he did a good job, dude.
He held it together.
I thought it was good. And but I'm an emotional guy like that anyway. Somebody give a speech, I'm sitting there like, oh man, missed it.
If I ever give a speech and you're in the crowd, I'm gonna focus on you. And if you're not crying,
I'll probably
like a failure.
I'll probably be crying if it's a serious speech and you're giving thanks to something that you did, your body at work. Yeah, I'll be sitting there. I'll be the one that's like, all right, just dab my eye.
Do you feel like you're more emotional the older you get?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I cried at the drop of the dime. I watch a movie.
Do you love it?
Yeah, it's
do
cool.
you hate it?
You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with it,
I hate it.
Yeah, like when you cry?
Nah, I don't hate when I cry. First of all, I ain't crying, all right?
Oh, you did so ready to physically calm down. Easy.
First of all, I ain't crying.
Okay, all right.
We call it getting emotional in my house.
Okay, you get emotional. All right. So what causes you to get emotional sometimes?
More things the older I get, obviously. But I feel like that also comes with like appreciation, gratitude, and responsibility, right?
Exactly.
So like the older you get, the more you appreciate.
Yes.
The older you get, the more you have like gratitude for, right?
Yeah.
But also the older you get, the more responsibility you have.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's things you're responsible for that will make you cry, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or get you emotional.
Yeah, get you emotional.
Yeah. Part of the process. You gotta embrace it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just I'm all right with it. I could be sitting there watching a movie and it's a speech that comes out and I'm like, and the missus is just like, hey, you over there crying? Yeah, I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? I know. I'm all right. It's okay. Just give me a napkin. Help me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here. I'm dabbing. I'm trying to tell this miss.
Yeah, but that's what take you out of the moment, like someone asking you.
Yeah, like don't ruin this for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, are you paying attention? It looks like I'm paying attention.
Yes. Don't watch the movie. Yeah, don't ruin this for me.
Let me have my viewing experience.
I'm having a moment right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't ruin it for me. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he gave a speech, and I'm like, man, wow. Man.
Yeah, it was great.
It was awesome. All right, cool.
Well, anyway,
all right, so we're gonna beat Dallas. All right,
we're gonna beat Dallas. It should be expected. I expect it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So, like, subscribe, follow Between the Vines. Check out Tuesdays with Trey.
Yeah. Trey Thomas Tuesdays at Pino's Palette, and and it's so good to be done with the election. Cheers.
This show is brought to you by PPR Capital Management. Did you know there's a way to invest passively in real estate and get monthly income without dealing with tenants, maintenance, or property management? If you're an accredited or high net worth investor, you can earn cash flow without the headaches by investing in a private equity real estate fund. PPR Capital Management. With nearly $1 billion in assets under management, PPR has provided investors with steady, truly passive monthly income since 2007 without ever missing a payment. To learn more, check out pprcapitalmanagement.com/birds today. That's pprcapitalmgmt.com/birds.